There is a quiet pressure that many of us carry, even when no one else sees it. It is the pressure to prove that we matter, the pressure to move faster, the pressure to catch up, the pressure to show results. You may not say it out loud, but you feel it. You scroll and see others advancing. You hear stories of success. You compare timelines. You measure your progress against someone else's highlight. And slowly a question begins to grow inside you. Am I falling behind? You wake up with effort in your bones. You are trying. You are learning. You are working. But sometimes it feels invisible. It feels slow. It feels unnoticed. And in those quiet moments, doubt whispers, maybe this isn't enough. This is where many people lose themselves. Not in failure, not in catastrophe, but in comparison, in impatience, in the silent belief that outer achievement defines inner worth. But there is a deeper truth that is not loud, not flashy, and not celebrated by the world. Before you lead anyone else, you must learn to lead yourself. Before you influence the world, you must govern your own heart. Before you seek success, you must form strength. The world often teaches us to chase visibility, but the most powerful formation happens in obscurity. You do not see the roots of a tree, but they determine whether it stands in the storm. You do not see the training behind quiet strength, but it determines how a person responds under pressure. You may feel pressure today, pressure to perform, pressure to accelerate, pressure to prove, but pause for a moment. Ask yourself a different question. Not how do I achieve more, but who am I becoming while I wait? Because waiting is not wasted. Delay is not defeat. Slowness is not weakness. Sometimes the greatest work happening in your life is not visible on the outside. It is the shaping of your character. And character is not built in applause. It is built in repetition. It is built when you wake up and do what needs to be done, even when no one praises you. It is built when you choose patience instead of reaction. It is built when you hold your dignity even when others misunderstand you. Inner discipline is stronger than outer approval. If you depend on applause, you will be shaken by criticism. If you depend on recognition, you will be crushed by neglect. But if your motivation is rooted in values, you become steady. The world is loud. It rewards noise. It celebrates speed. It praises spectacle. But true formation is quiet. It happens when you refuse to blame others for your attitude. It happens when you take responsibility for your thoughts. It happens when you say, no matter what happens around me, I will govern what happens within me. This is leadership at its deepest level. Leadership is not position. It is not popularity. It is not platform. Leadership is self-governance. It is the ability to remain calm when insulted. It is the ability to remain focused when distracted. It is the ability to remain kind when provoked. That kind of strength does not arrive suddenly. It is formed daily. Every day you are becoming someone. You are either becoming reactive or reflective. You are either becoming bitter or disciplined. You are either becoming fragile or resilient. Formation happens whether you pay attention to it or not. And here is something important to understand. Pressure is not your enemy. Pressure reveals your foundation. When you feel impatience rising, you are being shown where growth is needed. When you feel anger rising, you are being shown where discipline is required. When you feel discouragement, you are being invited to deepen your hope. Hope without illusion is different from fantasy. Fantasy says everything will be easy. Illusion says if I just achieve enough, I will feel secure. But grounded hope says something quieter. Grounded hope says even if the road is slow, I will remain faithful. Grounded hope says even if the applause never comes, I will live with dignity. Grounded hope says even if results are delayed, I will not abandon my values. This kind of hope does not shout, it stands. There may be days when you feel unseen, days when you question your progress, days when comparison tempts you to rush your development. But rushing formation creates cracks. If you chase influence before integrity, you will collapse under scrutiny. If you chase visibility before discipline, you will struggle under pressure. If you chase achievement before becoming, you will feel empty even when you succeed. Becoming must come before achieving. Who you are matters more than what you do. You can gain status and lose yourself. You can gain attention and lose your peace. You can gain recognition and lose your integrity. But when you build your life from the inside out, something different happens. Your worth is no longer fragile. Your identity is no longer dependent on outcomes. Your confidence is no longer attached to applause. You begin to understand that dignity is not given by the crowd. It is carried within. Dignity means you do not shrink to fit someone else's fear. Dignity means you do not inflate yourself to impress someone else's ego. Dignity means you stand steady in who you are becoming. And becoming takes time. It takes patience to grow roots. It takes endurance to stay committed when progress is slow. It takes clarity to choose long-term character over short-term validation. Patience is not weakness. It is strength stretched over time. Impatience says, I want it now. Patience says, I am willing to grow. When you embrace patience, you remove the panic from your path. You stop measuring your life by someone else's timeline. You begin to ask different questions. Not why am I not further, but am I growing deeper? Not who is noticing me, but am I becoming trustworthy? Not when will I succeed, but am I faithful today? Faithfulness over outcomes is powerful. You cannot control results fully. You cannot control how others respond. You cannot control how quickly doors open, but you can control your effort. You can control your honesty. You can control your discipline, and that is enough. Emotional sobriety is part of this journey. It means you do not let every emotion steer your direction. It means you feel deeply, but act wisely. It means you pause before reacting. When someone challenges you unfairly, you breathe. When someone overlooks you, you remain composed. When someone criticizes you, you evaluate calmly instead of collapsing. This is not suppression, it is regulation. You are not denying your feelings, you are governing them. Because if you cannot govern your emotions, you will struggle to govern your future. Responsibility is strength. Blame feels easier in the moment. It gives quick relief. It says it's their fault, it's the system, it's my past. And sometimes circumstances are unfair. Sometimes obstacles are real. Sometimes injustice exists. But even in difficult conditions, you still own your response. You own your discipline. You own your character. You own your attitude. That ownership is power. When you stop waiting for perfect conditions, you begin forming unshakable strength. There will always be noise around you, opinions, trends, expectations, demands. Clarity protects you from noise. Clarity means you know what you value. Clarity means you know who you are becoming. Clarity means you are not easily pulled by every external pressure. If your purpose is rooted in values, not hype, you move differently. You do not chase every opportunity. You do not react to every criticism. You do not compare every milestone. You move steadily, and steady movement often feels slower than dramatic bursts. But it is more durable. Endurance is refinement. When progress is delayed, you are refined. When effort feels repetitive, you are refined. When recognition does not match your work, you are refined. Refinement removes impatience. It removes ego. It removes shortcuts. It strengthens what cannot be seen. There may be moments when you feel tired of forming, tired of growing quietly, tired of unseen effort. But remember this, mastery of the inner life leads to meaningful outer impact. If your inner world is chaotic, your outer influence will be unstable. If your inner world is disciplined, your outer impact will be grounded. History remembers people who stood with dignity under pressure, not because they were loud, not because they were perfect, but because they were formed. They were anchored in something deeper than popularity. They were governed by principle, not impulse. They chose steady courage instead of reactive anger, and you can choose the same. You do not need a stage to build strength. You do not need applause to grow integrity. You do not need recognition to live with dignity. You need daily discipline. Wake up and do the work. Speak truthfully even when it is uncomfortable. Choose patience when irritation rises. Guard your thoughts when comparison begins. This is formation. It may not trend, it may not impress, but it will sustain you. One day, outer opportunities may arrive. influence may expand, responsibility may increase, and when that day comes, what will matter most is not how quickly you rose, but how deeply you were formed. If you have built patience, you will handle pressure. If you have built discipline, you will handle freedom. If you have built humility, you will handle success. Without formation, success can distort you. With formation, success cannot own you. You may still feel doubt at times. That is human. You may still feel tired. That is natural. You may still wonder whether your quiet effort matters. It does. Every time you choose integrity over convenience, you are shaping your future. Every time you choose responsibility over blame, you are strengthening your character. Every time you choose patience over panic, you are building resilience. Becoming is slow, but it is powerful. Do not rush it. Do not abandon it. Do not trade it for quick applause. You are not behind. You are being built, and what is being built within you will outlast what is built around you. So tonight or this morning, wherever you are listening from, release the pressure to prove. Return to your values. Return to your discipline. Return to your quiet strength. Ask yourself not how do I look, but how am I forming? Not who is watching, but am I faithful? Not how fast am I moving, but am I rooted? Let your growth be steady. Let your dignity be internal. Let your hope be grounded in reality, not fantasy. You do not need illusion to stay hopeful. You need commitment. Commitment to grow. Commitment to self-govern. Commitment to live with integrity, even in obscurity. Master your inner life. Guard your thoughts. Discipline your reactions. Shape your character, and trust that meaningful outer impact will flow from that foundation. You may not see it immediately. You may not feel it daily, but strength formed in silence is strength that lasts, and that is enough. Move forward calmly. Stand with dignity. Act faithfully. Let who you are becoming matter more than what you are achieving, because in the end, the strongest impact you will ever make begins within you.